strong reputation as one of the most talented and versatile players in the college football. His ability to lead a game, react quickly, and make smart decisions on the field makes him stand out. And he's not just a player with physical skills, but also someone with strong instincts and football intelligence. Despite all this talent, there are now growing opinions that Caleb Downs might not be selected in the top 10. One of the most respected draft experts, Daniel Jeremiah from the National Football League Network, has recently shared his thoughts, suggesting that Downs could fall outside of the top 10 picks. This statement has caught the attention of many because Jeremiah is known for his deep understanding of the draft process. According to Jeremiah, the safety position in football can be very unpredictable. Unlike quarterbacks, wide receivers, or edge rushers, safeties are sometimes not valued as highly by the teams making draft decisions. While fans and media may see a player as top talent, teams often have different priorities based on their needs and strategies. Jeremiah explained that even though he personally considers Caleb Downs a top 10 player, that does not guarantee he will be selected that year. He pointed out that in the past, several highly talented safeties have unexpectedly dropped in the draft. Players like Dervin James, Kyle Hamilton, and Nick Emanuele were all considered excellent prospects, yet they did not go as early as expected. This pattern shows that the safety position is often treated differently compared to others. Teams sometimes hesitate to invest high draft picks in safeties even when those players have clear talent. This could work in favor for the Dallas Cowboys if Caleb Downs does indeed slide down to draft board. Another fact that has been discussed is Caleb Downs' physical profile. While he is a very skilled player, he does not have the ideal size that some teams look for. He is under 6 feet tall, weighs just over 200 pounds, and does not have very long arms. In addition, some critics say that he does not produce a large number of the highlight plays, which can sometimes influence how players are viewed during the draft process. Even with these concerns, Caleb Downs remains one of the most complete defensive backs in draft. His versatility is one of his biggest strengths. He can play close to the line of scrimmage, helping the top line and cover short passes, but also has the speed and awareness to play deeper in the field when needed. Experts believe that his best role might be as looming safety, a player who can move around the field and react to different situations. However, he also has potential to develop into a deep safety who can cover large areas of the field and defend against long passes. This flexibility makes him a viable option for any team. For the Dallas Cowboys, this situation is very interesting. The team currently holds the 12 overall picks in the draft, and they make shown clear interest in improving their secondary. While they are improving their secondary, while they have already added players like Jalen Thompson and PG Lockey during the free agents, bringing in talent like Caleb Downs could take their defense to another level. Adding Caleb Downs would not just be about filling the needs, it would be about bringing in a player who could become a key part of the team's future. His ability to adapt, learn, and contribute in multiple ways could make him an important piece in the Cowboys' defensive system. The idea that Caleb Downs could be available at number 12 is still not guaranteed. Many teams could still decide to select him early. However, the fact that this possibility is now being discussed seriously shows how unpredictable the draft process can be. As the draft gets closer, fans will continue to watch closely, hoping that things fall into places for the Dallas Cowboys. If Caleb Downs does slip past to the top 10, it could create a perfect opportunity for the team to make a smart and impactful decisions. In the end, the story of the Caleb Downs and the Dallas Cowboys is a reminder that in the world of the NFL draft, nothing is certain. Expectations can change quickly, and opportunities can appear when they are least expected. For now, all eyes remains on the draft day, where the future of the many young players, including Caleb Downs, will finally be decided. And for the Dallas Cowboys, this could be the moment where and this time the excitement is reaching a completely new level. Fans are not just talking about the upcoming draft anymore. They are now dreaming about something much bigger, something bold, something that could completely change the future of the team. The dream is the possibility of the trading for one of the most dominant defensive players in football today, Myles Garrett. For a long time, the idea of Myles Garrett joining the Dallas Cowboys felt unrealistic. It sounds like one of those conversations fans have just for fun without expecting it to actually happen. However, things have started to change very quickly. Reports, rumors, and insider opinion are now suggesting that this move might not be as impossible as it once seemed. What makes this situation even more interesting, in fact, that Dallas Cowboys are in a unique position compared to other teams in the league. They have something very valuable that many teams do not have right now. They have 2 first-round draft picks in 2026 NFL draft. Not just many picks, but both picks are within the top 20 selections. This gives them a level of flexibility and power that could allow them to make a very aggressive move. According to several reports, a possible trade scenario has already been discussed. In this scenario, the Dallas Cowboys would receive Myles Garrett, while the Cleveland Browns would receive 2 first-round picks, specifically the 12th overall picks and the 20th overall picks. This type of the offer is very serious and shows that Cowboys have the assets needed to start a real conversation. Normally, when a team tries to trade for a player of Myles Garrett caliber, they are required to give up not only draft picks but also a key player. However, in this case, there is a belief that Cowboys might not need to include a player in the deal. The reason for this is simple. 2 first-round picks, especially in the top 20, carry a lot of value. In the draft class, where many experts are unsure about the overall strength of the prospects, these picks become even more attractive. Another important factor is that not every team can make an offer like this. While some teams like the Miami Dolphins and the New York Jets also have multiple first-round picks, there are doubts about Myles Garrett would be interested in joining those teams. This gives the Dallas Cowboys an advantage as they remain one of the most attractive destinations in football league, NFL. If this trade were to happen, it would be a bold move. It would show that Cowboys are ready to go all in and compete at the highest level immediately. Myles Garrett is widely considered as one of the best defensive players in the entire league. His ability to rush the disrupt offenses and dominate games could instantly improve the Cowboys' defense. At the same time, the Cowboys are also exploring other options. There are growing reports that the team could be considering a move within the draft itself. Instead of staying at 12th position, they might attempt to trade up in order to select top-tier prospect. One name that has come up in this discussion is Sonny Styles, a linebacker from Ohio State. Sonny Styles has been gaining a lot of attention recently, especially after an impressive performance at National Football League Combine. His stock has risen significantly, and some projections now place him as high as second or third overall pick. Interestingly, Sonny Styles himself has confirmed that he is scheduled to meet with the Dallas Cowboys. This kind of the meeting is very important because it shows genuine interest from the team. It also suggests that the Cowboys are doing their homework and evaluating all possible options before making a final decision. The possibility of the trading up in draft is not something teams take lightly. It requires giving up valuable assets, and the risk can be high. However, if the Cowboys truly believe that Sonny Styles is a game-changing player, they might decide that the risk is worth it. While all this is happening, another storyline is quietly gaining momentum. This involves Caleb Downs, as we said, another talented player from the Ohio State. Early, it was widely believed that Caleb Downs would be selected within the top 10 picks without any question. However, recent updates suggest that he might fall lower than expected. This change in projection is largely due to low the safety position is valued in the National Football League. Despite being an important role, safeties are often not selected as early as other positions. Additionally, some concerns about Caleb Downs' physical size and playing style have been mentioned by the analyst. Even so, Caleb Downs remains an extremely talented player. If he does fall to 12 picks, the Dallas Cowboys could find themselves in a perfect position to select him. This would allow them to strengthen their secondary with a player who has the potential to become a star. Beyond trades and draft strategies, the Cowboys are also actively evaluating talent through pro days. Recently, the team had a strong presence in Texas Tech University Pro Day. This event is part of the final stage of the scouting process, where teams gather as much information as possible before the draft. The Cowboys leadership group, including head coach Brian Schottenheimer and several key staff members, attended the event. Their focus was clearly on defensive players, which highlights an important need for the team. Improving the defense appears to be a major priority heading into new season. Several defensive prospects stood out during the pro day, including David Bailey, Jacob Rodriguez, Romero Hayes, and Lee Hunter. These players have all shown strong potential and could become important additional for the NFL roster. Meeting between players and teams during these events are very important. They provide an opportunity for both sides to learn more about each other. For the Cowboys, these conversations help them to understand players' mindset, personalities, and readiness for the professional level. All of these developments show that the Cowboys are preparing for very important moments. Whether it is making a blockbuster trade for Myles Garrett, trading up in draft for top prospect like Sonny Styles, or selecting a talented player like Caleb Downs, the team has many options. What makes this situation so exciting is that is the uncertainty. No one knows exactly what will happen the draft day. The Cowboys could make a safe or predictable choice, or they could surprise everyone with a bold and aggressive move. For the fans, this is a time of hope and anticipation. The idea of adding a superstar like Myles Garrett is thrilling. At the same time, the possibility of drafting a future star creates its own kind of excitement. At the end, everything will come down to the decision made by the Cowboys front office. The decision will shape the future of the team and determine whether they can return to being true contenders of the NFL. Until then, the rumors will continue, the discussion will grow louder, and the excitement will keep building. One thing's certain, the Dallas Cowboys are the center of it all. Important moments of their future and everything right now is focused on one big goal. The draft. As 2026 NFL football draft gets closer, the team is working day and night to make sure they are ready. This is not just about picking players. This is about building a winning team for the future. Head coach Brian Schottenheimer is taking bigger role this year, and his message is very clear. He wants the Cowboys to draft natural and draft pure. These words may sound simple, but they carry a deep meaning. What he is saying is that the team should not force decisions. They should not rush. They should not pick players just because they need certain position. Instead, they should choose the best talent available. Right now, the Cowboys are traveling across the country. They are visiting colleges, watching the players, and studying everything carefully. One of their recent stops was the University of Texas in Austin, a place known for producing talented football players. Before that, they also visited the University of Miami. These visits are part of what they called the Pro Day circuit. Pro Days are very important in football. This is when college players perform in front of the professional teams. Coaches and scouts watch how they learn, how they move, how they react, and how they behave. But for Coach Schottenheimer, it is not only about what happens on the field. He believes something more important is learning about personnel behind the player. When the Cowboys travel, they do not just watch football drills. They meet the players, they talk to them. They even take them out of the dinner. These moments are very important because they show what kind of the person the player really is. How do they act outside the football? What they motivates them? What are their goals? These are the questions the Cowboys want to answer to. Schottenheimer explained that understanding personality is just as important as understanding talent. A player may be fast, strong, but if they do not have right mindsets, they may not succeed at highest level. Another key thing the Cowboys watch during the pro days is how players compete. Are they leading? Are they focused? Are they full of energy? Do they listen carefully to instructions? These small details can reveal a lot about player character. Yes, this year is especially important because the Cowboys have 2 third-round picks in the draft. Yes, that gives them big opportunity, but also big responsibility. Making the wrong decision could hurt the team for years. Making the right decision could change everything. Schottenheimer has said that he is more involved in draft process now than he was before. Last year, he mostly watched highlights. Now he is studying full game film. He is watching how people and players perform in real situations, not just their best moments. He is working closely with the team leadership, including Jerry Jones and his son Stephen Jones, as well as key staff members like Will McClure. Together, they are building what is called draft board, which is ranking players based on talent, potential, and fit with the team. That's good, of course. You have to give us comment. How do you, what can you say about this system of the draft board? One interesting thing about the Cowboys this year is how they handle the free agents. Free agents is when teams sign players who are not currently under contract. So, according to Schottenheimer, the Cowboys did a very good job during these periods. And they focused first on keeping their own players. One of the names he mentioned was George Pickens, showing how important he is to the team offense. Keeping key players helped maintain stability and chemistry in the team. But they also added new talent. One of the biggest additions is Myles Garrett, the powerful defensive player who has been impressive since his college days at Michigan. Schottenheimer spoke highly of him, saying he has always been a strong competitor. They also brought Jaren Thompson, a player known for his energy and intensity on the field. Another name is Kobe Durant, adding more strength to the defense. Because of these moves, the Cowboys feel more flexible going into the draft. They are not forced to pick a specific position. Instead, they can truly follow their strategy of selection the best player available. This is what Josh Schottenheimer means by drafting natural and pure. When teams are desperate, they sometimes make mistakes. They might choose player too early just because they need that position. But the Cowboys want to avoid that. They want to stay patient and trust their evaluation. Still, coach admitted that the team is not perfect. There is still position that needs improvement. That is normal in football. No team is ever competent, and no team is. Oh, sorry. There is no. This is normal in football because there is no team is ever complete. There is always work to do. Yes, of course. You cannot go there and sit down and say that I'm satisfied by the signings, because you need to add some player in some positions. He also emphasized that building a team is a non-stop process, of course. It does not end after the draft. It does not stop during the season. It continues every single day of the year. Alongside Schottenheimer, defensive coordinator Christian Parker, the two have been spending a lot of time together discussing strategy and evaluating players. According to the Schottenheimer, they share a very similar vision of the football. Parker knows exactly what he wants in a player. He understands that every position is different. Not all players need to look the same. Some may have long arms, others short arms. Some may be fast, others stronger. What matters is how they fit into the system. This shared vision between the head coach and the defensive coordinator is very important. He helps to ensure that every decision the team makes is aligned with their overall plan. And another interesting part of the Cowboys' journey is their relationship with the college programs. For example, Schottenheimer has a strong connection with the Steve Sarkisian, the head coach of the Texas. Both are offensive-minded coach. And then they spend time talking and sharing ideas during pro day. This kind of the relationship helps Cowboys gain deeper insight into players. College coaches know their players very well, both on and off the field. The stop in Texas was especially meaningful because it is close to Dallas. It allows the team to stay connected to the local talent. Many players dream of playing for their hometown team, and that motivation can be powerful. As the draft approaches, The Cowboys continue their journey across the country. They are watching, of course. They are running and they're preparing every meeting, every workout, and every conversation adds another piece of the puzzle. For the fans, this is an exciting time. There is hope, there is anticipation, and there are many questions. Who will the Cowboys pick? Will these players become stars? Will this be the draft that changed the future of the team? For now, all we know is this: Cowboys are preparing carefully. They are trusting their process and they are determined to make the right choice. Because in the NFL, draft is not just an notification bell so as to be with us. The last Cowboys are once again in spotlight, and this time the news is not what fans want to hear. The situation around George Pickens is becoming more complicated, more expensive, of course, and more stressful for the team. What once looked like a manageable contract situation is now turning into a major challenge that could shape the future of the Cowboys. For weeks, the Cowboys have been making small moves, trying to fix gaps in their roster. They have added the players here, and they are especially at the cornerback position, which has been weak. These are not superstar signings, but rather experienced players meant to add depth. However, while the team is busy fixing small problems, a much bigger issue is growing quietly in backgrounds. That issue is George Pickens. At one point, silence around George Pickens' contract talks might have been seen as a good thing. No news sometimes means negotiation. No news sometimes means negotiations are going smoothly behind the scenes, but now that is no longer the case. The silence has turned into concern. The longer the Cowboys wait, the more expensive Pickens is becoming. Everything changed when Jackson Smith signed as a massive contract with the Seattle Seahawks. That deal was worth of the $168.8 million over 4 years. That means more than $42 million per year. This contract immediately reset the market for wide receivers across the league. Now, even though George Pickens may not be rated exactly at the same level as Smith, his value has increased significantly. Experts now believe that George Pickens could earn well over $30 million per year on long-term deal. The Cowboys had already placed a franchise tag on Pickens. This is a one-year contract worth of about $27.3 million. The franchise tag is often used as a temporary solution, giving teams more time to negotiate a long-term agreement. However, there is a deadline. If no deal is reached by July 15, then Pickens will either have to play on other one-year deal or refuse to play. And that is where things get dangerous. There is growing belief that Pickens might choose not to play under franchise tag. This situation is known as holdout, where a player skips games or training in order to pressure the team into offering the better contract. If that happens, the Cowboys could lose one of their most important offensive weapons, at least temporarily. What makes this situation even more frustrating for the Dallas fans is timing. If the Cowboys had signed Pickens to a long-term deal early, it would have been much cheaper. But delay have cost them. This has been a pattern under owner Jerry Jones, who often waits before finalizing big contracts. And the market is not done rising. Another wide receiver, Puka Nacua of the Los Angeles Rams, is expected to receive a new contract soon. When that happens, the price for wide receivers could increase even more. That means George Pickens' value might go even higher, making it even harder for Cowboys to keep him. Of course, while all of this is happening, there have been no clear reports that seriously long-term discussions between the Pickens and Cowboys have started. That lack of the progress is worrying. At the same time, the Cowboys are trying to strengthen their defense. They recently signed Deion Kendrick, a young cornerback who has moved between teams like Seahawks and Los Angeles Rams. Kendrick has shown flashes of the talent, including interceptions and defended passes, but he is not considered a top-level star. This move is more about adding depth than solving the problem completely. Another defensive player connected to the Cowboys is Anton Hill Jr. He is a linebacker from the University of Texas and has drawn attention from the Cowboys coaching staff. Head coach Brian Schottenheimer even had dinner with him, showing clear interest. And Hill himself has expressed excitement about the possibility of playing for the Dallas. He grew up near the city, which makes the area even more special for him. However, there is a challenge. The Cowboys may not be able to draft him easily because of their limited draft picks, especially in the second round. Meanwhile, the team also brought back